This is the unboxing video for the Durafly Vampire V3 from Horizon Hobby. Not because I lost it. The box is empty apart from the plastic bag. I've lost the part 1 and I've made the part 2 build. So that's the unboxing and the review. I completely and utterly ballsed it up. And this is not the first time I've done it either. So I present to you now what was part 2. So if I go on about part 2, ignore it. This is the whole thing. So this is the Vampire, Durafly Vampire, supplied by Horizon Hobby. Thank you, Horizon Hobby. And I've done it now, so I might as well go on with it. Okay, so enjoy the video. Hello, peeps. Well, we finally got round to assembling the Vampire here. Before I begin, it might be advisable to get yourself a wire brush. This is a brass brush. Okay, and what you need to do is basically go either side of the fuzz here and take off as much paint there as you can, or as you dare. The reason being, the trouble is all the bits get everywhere, so you're going to need a vacuum as well. Well, you are if you're doing it in the house and you want to get fed. So anyway, take off all this paint here, both sides, okay? And I did it with a wire brass brush, a wire brass brush. Seashells on the seashore. Right, so just so the glue will adhere to there, because you want as much adhesive on there as you can to make sure that wing goes in and it stays there. Okay, so that's my first tip there, so I can put that to one side now. I did find, guess what I found? I found some foam tack. I have no idea where it came from. I can't remember anyway. So I'll be using that for now, and if I run out, I'll be using Yoo-hoo Glue-hoo. Now, I've started out by, first things first, what to show you. All right, I've disregarded the nylon clevises that are supplied with the kit and completely made up from scratch my own metal clevises with a lock nut and a little rubber tube in there that you normally use for fuel. And that goes onto there, and that prevents that clevis from opening up. I've never had one open up, but that's the best way to ensure that what you're doing is absolutely spot on. The reason I got rid of them is because they're so hard to turn and adjust. It's just ridiculous. So that's really the only real reason. But also you get a lot more control, and it's just easier to use using metal clevises. So that's on both the ailerons and the elevator. Okay, so that's the only mod I've done on that. You have to make sure that you bend the all the control surfaces up and down a few times to make sure that they are moving freely before you put the clevises on. That's important. Okay, do not forget to do that. I've told you. If you've forgotten, then it's your fault. Okay, I have told you. So I'm going to start now with the starboard side, which is the right hand side, because you have a lead that goes back to the elevator, and there's a little slot there that connects into your horizontal stabilizer, and you have to push whatever cables are left over into that little slot there with varying degrees of success. Okay, and I've already glued that in. So I've glued that together, and you'll see why in a minute. Now, that lead, okay, will then go in to the starboard wing, the right hand one. Okay, you'll see there's a little slot there. So you have to push the elevator cable through that slot as carefully as you can, like so. Pull it out the other end and pull it through as much as you can, and then you do a dry fit, and that way the cable will become invisible, and there's your cable there. I'll leave that dangling for a bit, because what it's got to do, it's got to go into that cut there, goes into the fuzz. Okay, that becomes self-evident in a moment as to why I'm doing this the way I'm doing it, rather than having to explain it. Okay, because you've got to get your horizontal stabilizer in once these go towards the fuzz. So I'm going to put some foam tack on there now. Okay, we're quite liberal about it. I think I will use this up quite quickly by the looks of things. There we go. And I'm pretty sure that it'll be self-evident which is the correct boom. Just make sure you double check that. I've put the top down, I don't know where to put it. There it is. You are supposed to put this on both surfaces, but I haven't got very much, but I think it's going to be okay. So let's pull that through. That goes in that little notch there. I'll show you on the other one when I get to it. It's a bit awkward. Most things in model making are, by experience. Okay, and then we're just going to have to hold that down while that sets. In the meantime, I've got some Zappo foam safe. I'm just going to put a little bead on there just to help things along. I just got this little tube there. That helps a lot. Okay. That'll help things set while we make sure it's all properly lined up. Okay. Okay. And we'll just let that set for a while. Right. I forgot to show you the little nodging in that wing. Sorry. But if you got this model, it'll be self-evident anyway. Right. So it's now becoming obvious what's happening here now. So what we're going to do next is that boom's on, and we've got to put this cable into the wing. And as it happens, it's the black cable's going down and the white cable is up. So if you feel like you want to colour that in, feel free. I don't think I'll bother, to be truthful. And let's see, it seems to be easier to push it in starting from the boom going towards the wing root. So far, push that in. Yep, that's going in all right. Quite happy with that. Just using my thumbnail. I wouldn't use anything sharp. If you're thinking about using something sharp, forget it. Something blunt like an end of a spoon or something. Or a butter knife. Right. There we go. That goes in there. No need to edit this out because it's only took about, what, half a minute. Okay, so there's no flaps on this. So on this wing, you've got the aileron cable, you've got the gear cable, and you've got the elevator cable. Okay. And in all instances, or at least for now, you want to make sure that your retracts are up or your wheels are up. And that includes finding your centre of gravity. Finding your centre of gravity, the wheels must be up. Why? Because if you're flying, you've got your wheels up. And you need a centre of gravity when your wheels are up and you're flying. It doesn't matter so much when the wheels are down and you're on the ground. Okay. Probably teaching you how to suck eggs. So, let's get this round here. Now, I'm reusing the foam there unsuccessfully by the looks of it. Just to hold this. Okay. And perhaps I could do a better camera angle, but I'm just working with the resources I've got. So we push all the cables into the fuzz. Like so. There's an interesting thing I want to bring up in a minute about the EDF motor in here. Let's see, let's get that in there. In you pop. Pull the cables through. Don't want any tears. Where's that one gone? There you go. The aerial's just popped out there for some reason. Wants to join in the fun. And we do a dry fit. Okay, I would push this in this way. Leading edge down, trailing edge following. Because of this part here. You don't want to break that. And that seems to fit in okay. So I'm going to put some glue either side of that wing. Glue that in. And let it go off. So I'll see you in a minute. Right, now I've pre-glued the inner part of this wing root and this outer part of the wing root. You leave it for about 3 minutes and then you put it in. So, and then I'll show you that interesting thing. Well, if I can show it to you anyway. Now, get the cables in. Like so. Pull them out. There you go. Okay. There we are. Push the leading edge in first. Bring up the trailing edge. That's going quite nicely. Now for the tail. There you go. There you go. No effort at all. That's gone in lovely, that has. I think you're going to be surprised how easy this is to put together. Obviously, it's a bit of a pain with running the cables through while your glue's going off. But apart from that, I think you'll find you'll be quite happy with that, and it seems to fit quite snugly together. Check the bottom half. Yeah. So it's more or less all in one piece. The interesting thing, for those of you who will look down here, if you recall on the other venom that I made, the balsa wood version, copying Cliff Harvey. Oh, that brings me to, right, okay, let's bring this up now because I have a question for you. Okay. It was actually Cliff Harvey of RC Models that brought this thing to my attention. The use of Grok, the AI. We're in constant contact, and we have a bit of a laugh around and take the piss out of each other, basically. He's been going through a bit of a time of it just lately, and when I went through hard times, I realised that what I needed and helped me was humour. So we've been having a bit of banter. Anyway, putting that to one side, he sent me some AI generated videos he'd made. And one of them he put on his last video with this Scout that he's built, where it sort of takes off from the table because so I started messing around as well, and I kind of got into it. And what I've done is, you know, if you watch some of my videos, you'll get this General Ludendorff from World War One, the Great War, saying please like and subscribe. Well, I've made some using the Baron von Richthofen, saying like and subscribe. So if I put those in now, I'd like to get your feedback off those. Do you find it annoying? Do you find it amusing? Is it something different? Do you want to see more different versions of it? I've got one I've sent Cliff, where it's the Baron von Richthofen saying, who is this Cliff Harvey? Does he eat spam? If you're wondering, this is spam. It's an in joke between me and Cliff. I'm going to put that up. So if you like it, I want you to tell me if you like it or dislike it, because I need to put these little prompts in, because the reason is these models cost money, the materials cost money, and your time costs money. And it's not just building them and putting them together, everything. It's all the editing and everything else that goes into it. Okay. And if you want sponsors, you know, to donate interesting models that they're trying to promote or whatever, and I will only build a model if I find it interesting. Cliff is the same. He will not do a model unless he's interested in doing it. And whether, you know, the likes of Cliff or I, or, you know, Ian's RC Hangar, Dad's RC Hangar, or you know, these people, they want to do something that not only they find interesting, but hope you will find interesting. And we all like to share information. So where am I going with this? Yeah, so that's right. So I try to promote the like and subscribe and hit the bell button and all this, because if I get more subscribers and I get likes, you got to have a lot of likes and you got to have subscribers to get people who are interested in sponsoring you to build something. Okay, because some of these models are expensive, some of them are quite cheap. So that's the reason most people remind you to like and subscribe. And I know it seems annoying, but I'm explaining to you, in my case, why I'm asking you to give it a like. And if you're already subscribed, or, you know, forward it on to somebody who might be making a model, and you know, they might find something interesting or that they can find out about the models. Sharing, and so it's important to like it. You know, hit the thumbs up button. You know, and if you're not subscribed, then just subscribe. You don't have to watch every single video that I make. You know, but something may come up and you go, oh yeah, that's kind of it. I want to do that. I want to make that. So that's why, in my case, I make these videos, and I like to make them fun and interesting. Okay, so if you like the videos I'm putting up for the like, subscribe, let me know. I want some feedback, because if I keep doing it and you don't like it, there's pointless me doing it. Do you understand? Okay. Right, so getting back to this interesting part here. So when I was copying Cliff Harvey's Vampire from balsa wood and tissue, and I noticed on this is partly why I'm building this, to see how this goes together. It's more or less the same, but they've got a little dome attached to the impeller. Okay, it's not a propeller, it's an impeller. Right at the very front of the EDF there, which makes the airflow more readily into the blades. And that's, you know, I noticed that. Now, for the observant ones, this is the V3, the version 3, or if you like, the Mark 3 of this kit. And that is one of the improvements they did. They put that cone in front of the ducted fan, the EDF, and also allowing you to push the battery further forward. And they've modified the undercarriage, especially on the nose wheel, because it was dreadful. It was just breaking off. And also, I think there's they've got this like little black afterburner thing to help force the air out. I think I'm not really sure about the others, but I know they've added one or two ducts in to get the airflow going. So there you are with that. I think they put some carbon rod. I'm not sure. I think they put a carbon rod in here. I'm not sure about that. But if they haven't, then they should. Okay. So that's some of the modifications they've done, and obviously this new paint scheme on this version 3. There's another point. I think they're using a 2200 battery, which is this one here. Okay. Yeah, 2.24 cell, 14.8 volt, 60C battery. You've got to put this as far forward in the nose for your C or G. Now, any modeler, experienced modeler, will tell you you'd rather have the model nose heavy than tail heavy, because if it's tail heavy, it'd be uncontrollable and you'd be taking it home in the bin bag. I've also looked up where the centre of gravity goes, which I will come to because I've written it down and I can't remember the exact measurement off the top of my head. There's 296. Get yourself some stickers, centre of gravity stickers, and you measure from the tip of the nose back. But I've seen some of the videos related to this, and they're saying, no, bring it forward to here. Okay. Because you'll get a better flight characteristic out of it, and that this is a floater. It acts more like a glider than anything, especially when you're coming into land. So from what I can see, you don't need to particularly bring it in under power to get it to land. But it does like short grass or tarmac or something of that description. So when I come to maiden this, probably throw it and belly land it. But anyway, so the wings are on, the tail is on. I think what I'm going to do now is just double check I've got enough glue on these booms. They look as though they could do with probably a drop more. Well, this one does anyway. I'll probably put some CA around it. and then I think we'll move on to wiring up the cockpit there. In between that, I'll go and get that information that I've written down, and I hope you enjoy the like and subscribe that's going to come up right now.
To keep my content interesting, I need sponsors, yeah? So, like and subscribe. If you don't, well, I can always raise my score to 81.
And now we come to the conclusion. So where shall I start? Well, we haven't got a pilot. Doesn't come with a pilot. However, I shall come towards the camera. I made my own. It's me, the Baron Flights, my logo. And to do that, well, it's quite simple. You print off whatever face you want. It could be your own face or somebody else's face, or your favourite pilot, or your mother, or something, or your father. And you print it side on. You go on the printer, then you do a mirror image. Take a piece of card, cut all three pieces out carefully, cut a little slot in there, just push it in. Okay. So, setting up. The battery's got to go fully forward. I've had to go out and buy a double-sided Velcro bandage, if you like, where it's one side's rough and the other side's smooth, and put it about 2 inches from this point here back. The one that comes with it, it's not doing anything at all. Not doing anything at all. Okay. The other thing is you need to do is get some tie wraps and tie wrap all the loose cables and push them down underneath the plate here that holds the battery. The receiver I've put at the back there with Velcro on the bottom. Okay, and let's see what's left. So the C of G, now let's put this back in. To do the C of G, retract the undercarriage, and I've gone back 298 millimeters, which you'll see from the underneath. You're supposed to balance it from the top side, but I've done it from the bottom side. The manual recommends 311 millimeters from the nose. I've gone 298 millimeters. So you'll see 4 dots there, and that's so I have the opportunity to adjust it to whatever I need it to. But either way, the 298 with the battery right forward, you don't need any extra lead in the front of the nose or anything. So it's worked out really quite well. Regarding the radio, I've used Expo and rates. So on Expo, I'll put 20% on 3 different settings. So the high rates is 100%, 20% Expo. The middle setting, or number 2, if you like, is that I put it to 50% rates and 20% Expo. And on the low rates, I put 35% rates and 20% Expo, because I measured out the travel on the ailerons and the elevator, and the maximum is 12 millimeter up and down, and the minimum is 8 millimeter up and down. So the low rates are 8 mil, the middle rates are 12 mil, and well, the high rates I wouldn't advise it. So there you go. So that's now, battery's all charged up, the radio's all charged up. We've done the center of gravity with the wheels retracted. I didn't need to put any lead in. I've now got a pilot. I hope you can see the resemblance there. Oh, by the way, did you enjoy the like and subscribe? I've got a completely different one coming out as well in my next video for that. So please let me know, did you like it? I thought it was quite good, but if you don't like it, tell me. Okay, I need to know these things. So the only other thing I've got to do is I I did some exploring on YouTube, and there's one person here that says that you have to mix your throttle with your elevator. They're saying that if you cut off the throttle in mid-flight, it tends to come up like this, and quite sharply as well. So you need to mix the throttle with the down elevator with the elevator to be neutral. Okay, and what else did they say? And when it's in under thrust, I think they said a little bit of down. I'm not quite sure. I have to remember that. Anyway, that's the only thing really. So as long as your batteries are all charged up, your transmitter's charged up, your centre of gravity is right with the gear up and everything, just check it all over, make sure everything's moving, do your pre-flight checks before you start, and you should be good to go. So it's from what I can tell, it's a bit of a floater. When you come in, you don't need to put it under power as such to come into to land. I'll probably belly land it because finding a field with a totally flat grass, you know, like a golf course or something, is, well, it's unobtainable, isn't it? So unless you got tarmac or concrete runway, I think your best bet's probably to go wheels up. And that's about it, really. It's been really, really easy to put together. I've got no issues with putting it together at all. I don't think you'll have any real problems setting this up. All you got to do, what I would say, is manually center your ailerons and manually center your elevator, because really you've only got elevator, ailerons and thrust, and that's it. The rudder, which you do use on your channel 5, is just for steering wheel. It's not for the rudder, it's just purely for the steering wheel at the front. So you could actually fly this on a 4-channel if you wasn't bothered about using the rudder for the front wheel there. So yeah, I've added in some of the panel lines, as you can probably see, just to enhance it just a little bit. But apart from that, it's all good to go. So yeah, okay, well, give us a thumbs up and like and subscribe. And if you're new to the channel, usually I'll put your name up. I've had nobody new just yet, just recently, I think. Quite often I pre-record these, probably a week or two. So if you have subscribed while I'm doing this and you've not got yourself onto the credits, it's because I made this a couple of weeks ago. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you the next time. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Au revoir, c'est bien amusé. Au revoir, on a bien chanté. Au revoir, c'est bien amusé. Au revoir, on a bien chanté. Au revoir Lucia, au revoir Cosmo, au revoir Wen.
In case you're questioning my judgment in buying this instrument, this fine instrument made in America, it does have a